doing some type of drainage practice for some time and you're not seeing results, whether it's lymphatic drainage, whether it's castor oil packs or coffee enemas, any type of drainage practice, and you're not getting the results that you're expecting or that you're hearing from other people online, we're going to unpack that in this video because this is something that I hear quite often when I'm working one-on-one with clients. And so let's go through the conversation that I have with them to give you some inside tips on what to look for and what to look at to see what could be preventing you from getting the results that you not only expect, but that you deserve. All right, to kick it off, I always start by finding out, what are you doing? What is it that you are doing? And I will ask specifics. Tell me how much oil you're putting on. Tell me where you're putting the oil on. Tell me where the castor oil pack is going. Tell me what type of lymphatic drainage are you doing? Show me what is the direction, what is the pressure, what is the order. So I'll go through your actual methodology and ask all those questions because sometimes what we're doing is we're missing a crucial step. And when we're missing that crucial step, it's actually preventing us from getting the results that not only we're looking for, but that really should be coming. So that's the first thing that I absolutely find out is, what are you doing and how are you doing it? The next question that I ask is, how often are you doing this? Meaning, are you doing it once a week? Are you doing it twice a week? Are you doing it once a month? Are you doing it every day? Are you doing it 10 hours a day? What is the frequency? Because the frequency is going to tell us a whole lot about what your body's being exposed to, meaning how often is your body exposed to that technique or that modality that you're using. Now, you might not be doing it often enough. That could be part of the problem. So I may end up telling people you got to do it every day for this period of time. And remember, it's going to vary per person and it's going to vary based on the modality and all those things. But I might end up saying we got to do this every day. If we want to truly see if this is going to help, let's commit to doing it every day for this period of time and then we'll reassess. So the frequency is very important. The third thing that I look at is, how long have you been doing it? Meaning, have you been doing lymphatic drainage for a month? Have you been doing castor oil packs for a week? What are we looking at? Or have you been doing it for 6 months? If you've been only doing it for a couple weeks, it may not be long enough for your body to actually make changes. So you gotta give it time. So consistency and duration is really important when we're doing these at-home modalities. So take a look. How long has it been since you've been applying it? And then what I'm gonna do is ask you to take it a step further. How long have you been dealing with the symptoms or the complaints or the complications that is nudging you to do this type of modality in the first place? Meaning, if you've had this going on for months, it's gonna take a little bit before it gets better. It's not just gonna fix itself in a week. That would be amazing. But if we've had it going on for years and decades, it's gonna take months. It may even take a year or plus to see the results. Remember, as much as we are a society of we want it and we want it now, because guess what? I'm like that too. I want you and I want for me to get instant results. But guess what, guys? Our body is not Amazon Prime. As much as that would be amazing, we can't get what we're looking for in 2 days. We do have to be patient. So look at the length of time, the duration that you've been doing it, and ask yourself, is this an appropriate expectation based on how long I've had this going on? Now, if all of those have been check, you're doing it right, the frequency, you're doing it right, you've been doing it for a long time, being very consistent, then I'm gonna dig a little deeper and I'm gonna ask other questions like, 1, what is your hydration? Now, before you say, oh my goodness, I drink all the time and I pee constantly, that's actually indicating to me that you're probably dehydrated. So go and listen to some of my other videos because I actually talk about how to get proper hydration. We also want to make sure we have electrolytes in order to absorb the water. If we don't, what's going to happen is our body's not actually going to absorb the water. We're not going to have cellular hydration, and we're just going to be peeing a whole lot. So you might be dehydrated, and that could be what is preventing you from getting the results that you're looking for. The second thing I always look at is sleep. What does your sleep look like? What time do you go to bed? What time do you wake up? How much sleep are you getting? Do you track your sleep? Do you have one of those like gadgets like an Oura Ring or a Whoop band or any of those other things that will track your sleep and tell you how much light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, what is happening? Because if you're not getting enough sleep, sleep is when our body drains. So if our body is not getting enough sleep, our body's gonna not drain, not heal very well. So we gotta make sure that we're getting the appropriate amount of sleep. So take a peek, see what does your sleep look like? How much sleep are you getting? Do you feel rested when you wake up? All of those things can be very informative as to what your body is not only doing, but what it's capable of doing. So if you are doing everything right, but you're not getting enough quality sleep, your body's just not going to heal and it's not going to respond the way that you're hoping and the way that I would hope for your body to respond by putting the effort in with the different drainage techniques. The next thing that I always look at is, what is your stress level at? Stress is going to also tell me, how is your nervous system responding? If we are stuck in fight or flight, or freeze, or fawn, essentially, if we're stuck in sympathetic, what's going to happen is our body is not going to heal, it's not going to drain, it's not going to digest. We're not going to be able to do any of the things that our body needs to do in order to be a healthy, functioning body. So we may suggest doing certain things like working on shifting into a parasympathetic state, working on the vagus nerve, working on vagal tone, working and doing things like meditation or prayer, yoga, whatever it is that works for you in order to calm yourself down. Because if our stress is crazy high, and believe you me, we're all going to have stress. I'm not saying get rid of your stress. I'm not saying totally eliminate your stress, because that's just not possible. But if we can address how we respond to stress, you're going to have a better outcome when it comes to drainage and healing. The next thing that I look at is, okay, maybe you have an underlying chronic infection or heavy metal toxicity or a toxin overload in your system that is actually preventing your body from draining, from doing and benefiting from the modalities that you're implementing. Now, to address this, you're going to have to work with a practitioner to find out, is this going on? So typically one will start with certain things like routine blood work to look at a CBC with a differential. Maybe they'll do a VCS test to see, do you have potential toxicities? Do you have potential biotoxins? Are there nutritional deficiencies? Because all of those are going to play into it. And then depending upon the base test results, along with your history, somebody has to do a very good, case history on you to find out what could be driving your inability to drain. Then what they'll do is they may recommend additional testing to further narrow it down, which will take me into the final thing that I look at is you may be working on one thing, like let's say you're working on lymphatic drainage, but then it shows up that your liver is actually not functioning properly. Well, our liver produces 25 to 50% of the lymphatic fluid that drains in our thoracic duct. So from essentially that drains like our lower abdomen and into our legs. So if our liver's not functioning properly and it's producing even more lymphatic fluid, you may not be draining because your liver's preventing you from draining. It has nothing to do with your technique. It has nothing to do with your frequency, your sleep, your stress. Those things probably have a little to do with liver, but what I'm getting at is you may actually have to address some of the other drainage pathways and systems in order to see results with the modalities that you're doing. So the last two, you really do got to work with somebody that knows, one, how to look at labs, two, which labs to order, and then three, what to do with those labs in order to get you those results. Because it's going to be more than castor oil packs, lymphatic drainage, coffee enemas, rebounding, that type of stuff. All right. So I hope this gave you a little insight into my brain when I'm working with somebody, the questions that I ask to find out what the heck is going on and why are they not getting the results that they should be getting, and what do we have to do differently to get them those results. If you like this information, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell button so that you get reminded when a new video comes out. And as always, thanks for being here and happy draining.